If you're anything like me, the last thing you want to do in the dead of winter is yard work. But a little legwork now can keep your landscape healthy and save you from time-consuming maintenance later. Here are 4 things to do in your yard this season. The heart of any landscape is a working irrigation system. If sprinkler heads break, emitters are clogged, or worse, systems are not maintained and stop working, the entire landscape will suffer. Extreme weather in Las Vegas, especially summer and winter, can take a toll on watering systems, so it's important to protect your yard's lifeline throughout the year. While winter in southern Nevada is mild in comparison to other parts of the country, we do experience bitter cold and freezes. Take these precautionary steps to prevent pipes from freezing and bursting. Your first chore is simple. Disconnect and drain garden hoses you don't regularly use in winter.
You want to detach your hoses because that's a direct freezing point. I mean, that's exposed to the elements, probably more than some of the other piping. And so you want to detach the hose and drain the hoses so that the hoses don't freeze and crack. And then with the hose bibs, there's several types of protection that you can put on those as well. I like the covers that are easily detached.
The next step, bury exposed drip lines or cover them with a few inches of mulch. This will help to insulate them against water that could freeze inside and burst the lines. Then, wrap exposed irrigation pipes with pipe insulation, an insulated faucet sock, or an old towel secured with duct tape. Loosely drape a towel over an exposed irrigation backflow device or vacuum breaker and cover with a tall bucket that touches the ground. Nurseries and home goods stores sell decorative protective gear and sleeves as well. When you cover your backflow prevention, ensure the ports are not obstructed.
So you want to start a little bit below the soil level with the tape and take the dirt away from that area there, and then just start wrapping it with overlapping the edges a little bit so that there's no gap in between the tape, because that will allow freezing to happen. And then just progress. I use about 4-foot lengths at a time because it's easier to work with, and then just keep wrapping it from the bottom all the way up to the top, leaving the ports open and the very top of it open as well to allow for drainage.
Finally, locate your water shutoff valve and learn how to turn off water at its source. Doing this will save you from major damage from leaks or burst lines. The next item on your to-do list is to protect your plants from the cold. Add an additional layer of mulch to the plants in your landscape. Mulch is a top dressing that covers the soil and protects the roots of plants from freezing. It also helps to conserve moisture so you don't have to water as often.
Use an actual mulch material that you can get at one of the nurseries or home places, and just mulch up around the actual stem of the plant and maybe about a foot beyond to kind of protect that root system there. And I like to put about 5 inches on. A couple of different things that you can use. One is leaves. Just use the fallen leaves in your yard, rake them up and pack them tightly around there, or you can get a regular mulch product. And with that, I like to use the cedar mulch because it really helps prevent pests as well.
Your potted plants will appreciate some warmth too.
So a couple of things you can do. One is you just move the plant up into more of a protected area if you have a covered patio, or maybe move it out to a walkway where there's more sun, and that the sun will be able to hit that pot and keep the soil warm and keep the plant warm. The other thing that you can do is take the pot and set it inside of another pot, and that will actually keep the cold from coming into the inner pot. You can put rocks in between those 2 pots, or sand material, or you can just try it with what it is, or stuff a blanket down in there. Any kind of protection that you get, the same way that we would put a coat on ourselves.
With these winterizing chores out of the way, you'll lighten the load of work in your landscape for the rest of the season. By late winter, you'll have only one more task to complete to prepare your yard for spring: prune your trees and shrubs.
When we talk about late winter, the season we're talking about is mid-February, from the first part of February to the middle part of February. And the reason why we wait that late is because the plant still has sap up in the branches and the tips. And if you prune that too early, the spores for bacteria and fungus are real active at that time, and they will be attracted to that sap. And the sap actually provides the food for that to grow and can cause problems in the plant later. So for deciduous trees, and those would be the ones that drop their leaves in the winter, you want to wait until they've dropped all their leaves. And if you're unsure about if it's not in dormancy, you can just cut a couple of the small twigs off and see if sap is running out. And if there's no sap running, then chances are it has gone into dormancy.
Last but not least, plan a water-smart landscape now. Spring is a prime time to plant in southern Nevada, and you'll need to do your homework before the seasons change. Start by trading in your turf and high water bills for a yard that requires far less water and maintenance. Apply for the SNWA's Water Smart Landscapes rebate program, which offers $1.50 for every square foot of grass removed and replaced with water-efficient landscaping.
If you have a yard that the only time you're on your lawn is when you mow it, that's a great candidate for possibly converting all of it or part of it. And you can have so many beautiful and colorful plants. The one thing about the desert is really things are blooming year-round there. So there's many plant choices that you can have.
It's a good time to interview potential landscape contractors if you don't want to do the work yourself. The Water Authority has a list of water-smart contractors on its website, along with tips to help you select a licensed and insured landscaper. You'll also find free professional landscape designs, information and photos about water-smart plants, and tips to help you maintain your landscape and save money on your water bill. Visit snwa.com to start planning your new outdoor living space. Winterizing your landscape may take some time, but it's well worth it. Protect your irrigation and pipes, give your cold-sensitive plants mulch and sun, and prune shrubs that really need it. Finally, trade in your lawn for a water-smart landscape. Reporting for Waterways, I'm Crystal Zelke.